Hey guys, what's going on out there? Keto USA, or should I say Rike? Rike, Rike knives. Hold on, Keto, Rike. Yes, yes. The parent company. Who we got? David Jin. Who's that guy? Who is that guy? I'll tell you who that guy is. I met him at Atlanta Blade Show, and there he is. And he is the designer of this knife, and it's on Keto USA, and you can buy it right now until they're sold out, and then you can't buy it no more. Okay? But we got M390, we got titanium, we got carbon fiber, we got a very angular knife, we got a very angular button lock front flipper knife. Okay? Check this out. Oh, can you flick it that way? Oh, yeah. So front flipper, top flipper, kick it open, middle finger flick, roll it open with your thumb, however you want to do it. And it's a full-size knife, folks. And backspacer, like a suspended look there, up until you get here. And then you got a big enough hole for a lanyard? Yup. Okay. And you got traction up here, too. Centered blade. Hey, Rike knife. Okay, I'm just saying they make a good knife. You can go left hand carry on it. It's not deep carry, but it's a milled titanium pocket clip. The hardware looks good. Kind of, no, there's no proprietary thing. It's you use a screwdriver. Okay. Now, in all honesty, I would prefer just Torx entry. I'm a little worried about screwdrivers because sometimes they can not fit real well, and then they can slip and they can go skating across here when you're trying to unscrew something. So I prefer a Torx because it'll be a specific size. It'll be made for a specific, size Torx driver, blah, 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 whatever. But okay, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I really have a difficulty time faulting this in any way. I mean, I know that Rike makes a good knife, and this knife looks pretty damn good to me. And let's get a piece of paper. Will it cut? Oh, that was nice. Yeah, that was nice. M390. Oh yeah, they got a nice edge on this one. So I picked it up, and I think there were some other people picking this knife up at Blade, but now it's out because I think at Blade it wasn't officially out on their site, but now it is. $250. I mean, that's right. I mean, most of the stuff that's rolling around these days is 350, 450, whatever. So to me, that doesn't seem terribly expensive. Ketuo Griffin. Okay, so it's Ketuo, Ketuo Griffin knife, and of course, KetoUSA.com. Okay. Ian is my guy at the Keto booth that I always run into, repping Rike knives and all the Keto stuff. And he lives up in New York. So, I mean, that's where my stuff comes from. Titanium, integrated lanyard loop, floating spacer, that kind of thing. And it's a good sized knife, 8.5 inches overall length, mill pocket clip, 4.7, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, and if you want to pause and read this, because I'm not going to hold it up and read the whole thing, but I mean, one of his inspirations was Bob Terzuola, because tactical. And this knife definitely looks tactical. It does. And Terzuola does some, angular kind of stuff. And if you were at Blade, then you saw Terzuola get inducted into the Knife Makers Hall of Fame, right? Along with Laren Thomas's dad, Devin Thomas. So, I mean, you have two real big legends that were inducted there. And so I can understand why David draws some inspiration from Terzuola's work. I mean, really the father of the tactical folder in a way. So This is nice. This is nice. And it's nice that that would be where he draws his inspiration. 3.3 millimeter blade thickness at 0.13 and 0.53 thickness at 13.5. So it's not real thick. It's not real all that heavy either. And it's a nice little button lock. Whoop, she drops. Yeah, she drops. All right. Boom, right there. Okay. Yeah, 4.73. I mean, it's not even 5 ounces. 134 grams. I mean, it's solid titanium with the reasonable amount of M390 blade on there. And this is unusual. This is a very angular choil, right? And then see, he said, so you can do this like this. He had different, I don't know if it's on the Keto site, but I got some material from him where he was talking about he did this so you could be like this, you could be like this, you could be like this on the knife. You know what I'm talking? So this has a function, a purpose of being here like this. Okay. Wow. And yeah, I think he did a great job on it. I like it. I'm really drawn to the design. But then I'm drawn to a lot of angular designs. You've seen that I've done some stuff with NOC knives and other things like that. So those are very angular, very crazy futuristic. And this is a bit that way as well. Wow, I'm going to have to, yeah, see, it just tucks itself right back up in the handle like this. I mean, boom. Otherwise, it'll jump off the stop. Just boom, like this. Wow. So, yeah, it's very fidget friendly. And talk about, top flip, front flip, finger flick, all that kind of thing. But the ergos are good here because all these 3 tuck in here. This one's back in here. Oh, yeah, it feels good. And reverse grip is really good too. It is really good. Okay. So, yeah, it's an aggressive looking knife, I'd say, but it feels relatively light for its size. And you've got jimping here, thumb ramp here, but then you can crawl up here as well. And so he's got some nice design cues and he's carrying some interest throughout the knife with some different milling. And this, in here as well, comes forward and then jumps up here, different levels of machining. And here, this bevel in here, here, comfort in the hand. Yeah, it's really comfortable. Yeah, just like that. Wow. And that backspacer, that's pretty long, but it doesn't wrap all the way around, does it? So it doesn't really interfere with the blade. But I don't know that there's much more blade you could put in here. It looks like maybe you could have, but if you look at where this backspacer comes up, I'm not sure you really have much room to do anything more. Now, let's look at the blade length to the overall. Okay, so we got 3.5 inches and 8.5 overall. So, I mean, I've seen knives that have 3.5 inch blade, right? And 8.1 overall length. So maybe if you would have modified this, you could have put a little bit more blade in there for the overall, but does it look disproportional? No. Now, let's look at, you have a little over 3, probably not quite 3.25, but 3.15 inch blade cutting length at 78 millimeters, but then really pretty much 90 millimeter blade length. 21.5 centimeters. Okay. Let's look in here. We'll do a disassembly, But it looks like they've done a lot of weight relieving in here. And yeah, I can believe it because it feels relatively light for how big it is. But yeah, it's comfortable. And it's he threw everything but the kitchen sink in here, didn't he? I mean, if you are a person that really likes the current trend of multiple opening opportunities to make it really fidget friendly, then this, this, everything, this. I mean, you can do it all, right? And you got a fuller you could probably flick off of too. Yeah, which you can. So I mean, good Lord, you can work your way right around this knife so easily, just like that. So this is just one of those knives where you have to look at it and go, is it a design? And you know, if you like the Todd knife and tool knife they did for Best Tech called the Exploit. I mean, look at that knife and then look at this. Very similar in their angular, aggressive, tactical look with the fuller and that kind of thing, right? So I've always liked Todd knife and tool designs. So I guess that's why this appealed to me as well. Just like that. And of course, if you're a lefty, they didn't forget about you. Okay. And there it is. Let's take it apart, see what it looks like. Now let's try this. Now do you have a screwdriver? Yeah. Okay, so I got a few different sizes actually. And we've got some thread locker in here. I before I started the camera, I tested this pivot and it was locked down hard. So I mean, what you saw me do was the second time coming out. The first time, oh baby, I had to bear down on it pretty hard because it's not turning real easy. And I was very careful because you don't want to skip and then leave a snail trail or something on it. So no, and let me get this. Okay, so now we've got a smaller slot, and that other one's not going to fit. And this one is only size I got around here that I can easily find at the moment. And I broke this one loose prior to this video as well. It was a little tight as well, but not as tight as the pivot. Okay, so that's those. Now I'm trying to figure out what am I missing. There's not a lot of screws holding this together. Oops, and I just dropped the back out, didn't I? Yeah, I did drop the back out. Okay, so let me see what are we missing? What do we need to do yet? And I think it's just having a long backspacer like this. Yeah, that's all. It just kind of tends to hang together when you got a lot of contact area there. So get this out. Come on. Ooh, we got some weight relieving, don't we? Now we do have a captured pivot. We got a squared off area here. This is where the stop goes, I guess. Nah, hold on. There's this. So that's not for the stop. That's not for anything. Oh no, okay, it just goes into that scale. Yeah, it is for that. So that's just in a fixed position. That's okay, that's interesting. That's a little different than I've seen on a lot of knives. And let me pop this washer off. Ceramic bearings. Let me kick this open. Let me see the best way. I think it just pops up off. Yeah. There's your spring, and they got some grease on there to keep it from rusting or corroding, etc. And then there's your bearings there. It got a little bit of something in here. No, pretty light, whatever it is. We'll wash that out. And then we got a captured pivot coming through from the back. And the back side is this. If you have a little thing like that, well, I guess I don't think you can turn it. No, you can't turn it because you got this captured. So, okay, never mind. And here's the other set of bearings right here. Another washer here. Okay. I think this is pretty much the total setup. This is the back. This is the presentation. A lot of weight relieving in here. And here's your back spacer. Okay. So this is interesting because you got this. And what are we holding in here? That's strange. I don't know particularly what we're doing. And let me see if I can break this loose. That's on there too, pretty hard. Oh, okay. I guess it's just there to hold that in place, isn't it? Just a little tiny screw in here, goes in here, threads into here, holds it in place. Nothing real complicated. Kind of interesting they did that. Because, yeah, they kind of overboard that, and then there's the hole that it comes through to go in and screw itself down into here. Okay. There they are. Back with the Griffin. And we are back with the Griffin. So, Ketuo USA, that's where you go. I'll have the link below. David Jin, great design. Really like it. Very angular, comfortable, lightweight for the size. Take care, my friends. We do love them knives. You guys, stay sharp.